Hi, my name is Brooke Raulerson. I'm here on behalf of the Floral Greens Farmers of Florida. I am in an amazing place right now. We're in Florida. It's hot, extremely hot. I can't even explain to you how hot it is right now. You probably see me glistening, but it's great for the ferns. It's great for the Aspidistra, and that's where I am right now. If you can see behind me, I'm actually in the fernery, and it is amazing. I am basically knee deep or almost waist deep in Aspidistra. So as y'all know, I'm kind of love Aspidistra. It's my thing. I love that crop. So it is amazing for me as a professional florist to actually be right here in the middle of it. So I'm going to show you an arrangement that I would do with Aspidistra that I really think a lot of people can see the tips and the tricks of how to use Aspidistra in a really unique way. A lot of Aspidistra is really, really tall. So I have some here and I just want to show you just how tall Aspidistra is. And if you can imagine me standing in the Aspidistra farm and it's at least waist high for me, you can imagine how tall it gets. So sometimes we don't have very large arrangements that really need that tall of Aspidistra. So I'm going to show you a couple things that we can do with it. So Aspidistra is a very long, broad leaf, but it's very forgiving. So you can see how broad it is right here, and then it comes down to a nice tip to it. It's very clean, very slick, but also there's a lot of different things that I've done with it, like split it just with my fingernail like this. You can fold it, for instance, like this, fold it into itself. And it pierces and holds actually that position. So that's what I'm going to show you here. But look how beautiful that is, just to use this Aspidistra kind of split like that. So you can see how much more I appreciate it now being a florist in the middle of the farm and being able to see where it comes from. So Aspidistra actually grows something like this. So you can see the roots that kind of are like spider roots, and then they just keep growing and growing and multiplying. So now I don't feel near as bad about using 15-20 stems of Aspidistra in one arrangement. So here I'm going to show you an arrangement I'm going to do of Gerber daisies, which are really beautiful, but so many times we use Gerber daisies as just one type of arrangement and we put just, you know, something very simple with it. But really we can dress it up a lot more. I've got floral foam in this one container just because I want the Aspidistra to stay exactly where it is. And I'm going to pierce its self multiple times and make one big arrangement of Aspidistra. Now every time that I fold it over and pierce the Aspidistra and then put it into the arrangement, I'm actually piercing more of the Aspidistra. So you can kind of see at the bottom of my arrangement that there's no floral foam showing because I'm just overlapping every single piece of the Aspidistra. So if I turn it like this and show you from this angle, and I'm just going to keep going around the same direction, the same tip, over and over. So I kind of make this looped design with Aspidistra. Now Aspidistra is also called the cast iron plant because it doesn't need a lot of water. And so it's really, really hardy, which is one of the things that I love about it. And what I want to do is just make a different type of loop instead of all the same type of loop here. I'm going to cut one of these and then place it in there, but I just want to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to pierce the Aspidistra with the other leaf and then place it in like this. And do the same thing again, this way to this way. And now you can kind of see an overall larger design that I'm making. And I'm going to continue to do the Aspidistra now going upwards, making it a larger arrangement. And let's see, I'm running out of Aspidistra, so let me just cut a few pieces. I wish I could do that in my own flower shop. Just reach down and grab a few pieces. This one's getting a little floppy on me, which sometimes happens with Aspidistra, so I'm just going to loop it over and then place it back in. So you see, in general, just a nice large arrangement of Aspidistra. So some of them are looped over smaller, some are looped over larger, and then I have some coming out. So what I'm going to do is actually start placing the Gerber daisies in here, but instead of just placing them straight in, I'm going to arrange them to the point that they are kind of tucking in and coming out of the arrangement, give you a little bit more depth in this design. Now I've used quite a bit of Aspidistra in here, so I'm just going to take my knife and poke some holes. And look how this is starting to form to where it's like a beautiful natural looking arrangement. Basically, this is kind of similar to what you see here at the farm, is where the Aspidistra is looped over and it's standing up straight. Okay, so just adding a few more Gerber daisies here just to kind of give you all the balance of color. I love these hot colors, especially with the dark green Aspidistra, just so you can see the contrast between the bright colors and then this really beautiful natural green glossy leaf. And the thing is, if you want to put more Gerber daisies or flowers in here that maybe you've filled with Aspidistra, you can actually just poke your knife straight through the Aspidistra and then make another hole. It's really, really easy. You don't have to worry about covering up your mechanics as far as your floral foam goes, because your Aspidistra actually has already covered up all of that. And there you have a really nice large arrangement with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a dozen Gerber daisies and 2 bunches of Aspidistra, and you can see just the height and the space that this has created. Here you have the Gerber daisies that are really tall, and you can see the space between the flower and the greenery, which creates a lot of interest and depth to this, so that you have a value in the space itself. So not only have I designed the flowers, but I've designed space, which so many times we move away from that trend and come back to it. And this is a great way to kind of introduce that back into your flower shop or into your arrangements. And again, this type of arrangement, the Aspidistra will last. Gosh, I've had Aspidistra in arrangements last up to like a month, maybe 2 months in a design like this. So what I do is just take the Gerber daisies out and replace them with another type of flower. Like I said, Aspidistra is so hardy that you can actually pierce it multiple times, and it does not disturb the water source. It lasts for a very long time. So basically all you're doing is replacing 12 stems every single time that these go to expire. So I can do this the next time, the same design with roses. I can do this with hydrangea. I can do it with, say, ginger or protea or anything that I want for this arrangement. I can just replace the flower and not have to replace the greenery because it lasts so long. With this arrangement, I've used the Aspidistra, so this is just one style of arrangement with all one type of greenery. So I'm going to show you a couple other ways to kind of add in some interest and depth to with different greenery. This arrangement, I've used a lot of different greenery. So I have weeping podocarpus that kind of gives you a little drape to it, really soft, feathery look. I think this is a great contrast to the thicker, solid leaf of the Aspidistra. Then I also placed the Monstera right here, which is really popular in your interior design magazines, and a lot of interior designers are using that tropical foliage just to accent in different areas of the home. You might see just a glass vase with Monstera or split leaf philodendron or any type of foliage just kind of stuck in that arrangement and coming out of it just beautifully as an accent. And so you see a lot of that. I've used the variegated ligustrum here just to kind of give you a little bit of variation in greenery to kind of break up all that dark green foliage. But here you can see all different types of foliages that I use, all grown here in Florida, where it is hotter than I can explain to you right now. I feel sorry for the people that actually have to harvest this stuff on a daily basis because it is so hot, but it's great for our greens. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the arrangement. I encourage you to try a lot of this in your own shop or even at home. If you're not a florist and you're designing with flowers, try mixing up your greenery and concentrating that a little bit so that you can see the potential of every one of your arrangements. I'm Brooke, and it's nice talking to you. We'll see you soon. So one of the things that we ask the farmers about the fernery is, why is it that Florida is one of the fern capitals of the world, actually foliage capital of the world? But it's our humidity, it's our moisture, it's the sandy soil that the Aspidistra can grow. And a lot of the ferneries do great in this type of climate. It drains really well. It likes moisture, but it doesn't like to sit in moisture. So you can see here that we're in sand, and it's very nice, well-draining sand that's helps these Aspidistra to multiply and move throughout, but also it's not sitting in water. Like I said before, cast iron plant is really good, hardy plant, but you never want any of your foliages to actually be standing in water. So this one here, we have the shade cloth, or the saran as they call it. It's got an SPF of 73. So it prevents that much sun coming down on the ferns and the foliages from burning. So this is one of the reasons why Florida is actually a great place to grow the ferns. We have a lot of sun and we have downpours that most of us can't drive in, but it's great for our fernery.